Emma stood behind the stage curtain, her heart beating faster than it had in years. She wasn't even performing tonight. She was just helping backstage. But even the smell of the old theater, dust and paint and history, brought back everything she had once dreamed of. She used to be on stage every weekend in college. Back then, she had believed she'd be famous by now. She thought the world would see her talent and the lights would never fade. But life didn't follow the script she had written in her head. Now, at 32, she was still chasing auditions and juggling part-time jobs. Her boyfriend, Ryan, didn't understand why she hadn't given up yet. He didn't say it directly, but she saw it in his eyes every time she came home with another rejection. Ryan had a good job in a marketing firm. He wore suits, went to meetings, had a clean desk and a growing paycheck. He was supportive at first when they were both younger, back when the idea of dating an actress sounded romantic. Now, it just sounded unstable. That night, Emma helped, set up props for a small community play. She stayed late, making sure everything was perfect. It wasn't a paid gig, but it was the only place where she still felt alive. She didn't tell Ryan she'd be home late. Lately, it didn't seem to matter. When she finally walked through the apartment door, Ryan was already on the couch, eyes on his laptop. The TV was on in the background, some sports channel. "You didn't text," he said without looking up. "I didn't think you'd notice," she replied, kicking off her shoes. He glanced at her. "That's not fair." Emma dropped her bag. "Neither is coming home to someone who doesn't ask how my night was." He sighed. "How was your night, Emma?" She didn't answer. She went to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and leaned against the counter. "You know," he called out, "I got invited to a company retreat next month. It's in Mexico, all expenses paid." "That sounds nice. You could come. Spouses and partners are allowed." Emma smiled weakly. "That would be great, unless I get cast in something by then." Ryan didn't reply. She heard the keys on his laptop clicking again. In bed that night, she stared at the ceiling. Ryan had already turned away, facing the wall. She thought about all the dreams she used to have and how small they had become. She wasn't looking for fame anymore, just a chance, a reason to believe she still belonged in the world she loved. The next morning, she got an email. She had landed a supporting role in an independent film. It wasn't a big project. The budget was small, the crew mostly students. But it was real. It was a step. She screamed in the kitchen when she read it. Ryan rushed in, thinking something was wrong. "I got the part," she shouted. "The film, I got it." He blinked. "Wait, really?" She nodded, showing him the email on her phone. "That's great," he said slowly. "When does it start?" "Next week. They're shooting weekends and evenings." He nodded. "So, you'll be even busier?" Emma's smile faded just a little. "Yeah, but this could lead to more. The director's connected. She said this could be submitted to festivals." Ryan nodded again. "Well, congrats." He kissed her on the forehead, then went to finish getting ready for work. Emma stood alone in the kitchen, feeling the air shift. The following week, rehearsals began. The script was intense, emotional, the kind of role she used to dream about. The director, Lila, was young but sharp. She saw something in Emma that no one had seen in years. "You're not just good," Lila told her after a table read. "You're real." Emma blushed. "Thank you." Her co-star, Jordan, was friendly and funny, younger than her but experienced. He had done several short films and had a charm that made everyone like him instantly. They practiced scenes late, into the night sometimes. The chemistry was important. The characters were close, complicated, tangled in love and guilt. Emma felt alive in those scenes. Ryan, however, started changing. He came home later. He stopped asking about the film. When Emma talked about rehearsals, he just nodded or changed the subject. One night, she overheard him on the phone in the other room. His voice was low, serious. "Yeah, she's always out now. I don't even know where she is half the time." Emma felt a chill. When he came back into the room, She didn't say anything. The next day, she met Lila for coffee to talk about the character. "I feel like something's missing," Emma said. "In the emotional scenes." Lila stirred her coffee. "Maybe draw from your own pain. Don't hold back." Emma nodded. "Okay." They talked for an hour. As she was leaving, Lila said, "I'm glad I found you. This film needed someone real." Emma smiled. "Thank you for giving me the chance." When she got home, Ryan wasn't there. His car wasn't in the garage. It was 9 p.m. She waited. At 11, he walked in. "Hey," he said casually. "You're late." "Yeah, work thing. Last-minute meeting." Emma looked at him. "You smell like perfume." He blinked. "It's probably from the office. You know how some of the women there are." She didn't reply. He walked past her into the bedroom. That night she lay awake while he slept. She checked his phone once. She had never done that before. It felt wrong, but something in her gut told her she had to. There were messages. From a number not saved under a name, just a number, but the texts were clear. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing." She doesn't know, does she? Emma's heart dropped. She put the phone back and went to the bathroom, locking the door. She didn't. "Cry. Not right away." She stared at herself in the mirror, her face pale under the soft light. He was cheating on her. All this time, while she was rebuilding her confidence, finding herself again, he was betraying her. Quietly. Cowardly. The next day, she went to set and gave the best performance of her life. Everyone clapped after her scene. Jordan hugged her. "That was incredible. You okay?" She nodded. "Yeah, just finally letting go." She didn't tell him what had happened. When she got home, Ryan was in the living room. "Hey," he said, "I was thinking we should talk." She sat down. He shifted uncomfortably. "Look, I know things have been off between us." She stayed quiet. He continued. "You've been busy. I've been distracted. Maybe we both got a little lost." Emma looked at him. "Are you in love with her?" His face changed. "What?" "The woman you're seeing." "Are you in love with her?" Ryan looked down. "I don't know," he said. Finally, Emma stood. "That's all I needed to know." Emma, "Wait." "No," she said. "You waited until I found something that made me feel whole again, and then you tore it apart. You could have ended things. You could have told me." He didn't speak. She packed a bag that night, just a small one. She didn't scream, didn't cry. She left the apartment with the same grace she had always carried, even when life broke her. She stayed with a friend for a few days, focused on the film. Her performance grew stronger. Her eyes held something new now. Truth. The film wrapped a month later. Lila hugged her tightly. "You're a star," she said. Emma smiled. "I'm just finally being honest. The film did go to festivals. It got attention. People started talking about her again, not as Ryan's girlfriend, as Emma Green, actress. She got offers. Small at first, but real. And one night, when she was alone in her new apartment, she got a message from Ryan. "I saw the trailer. You're amazing." She stared at the screen, then deleted the message. She didn't need his approval anymore. The curtain had fallen on that part of her life, and this time, she was the one choosing what came next. Emma didn't sleep much after the trailer for the film went viral. The director had posted it with the caption, "Meet the actress who will break your heart and heal it again. Emma Green." Within hours, her name started trending in small, indie film circles. Actors she used to admire from afar were suddenly following her on social media. People wanted to interview her, ask her about her process, her past, her rise. But Emma didn't care about fame the way she once did. She had tasted something deeper now. Truth. She knew the value of peace. She knew what it felt like to lose herself in someone else's world and fight to get herself back. The offers started coming slowly but steadily. One was for another indie project in New York, a lead role this time. Another was a supporting part in a streaming series. But the one that caught her eye was a theater revival in Chicago. Live performances, back to the stage where she first fell in love with acting. She took it. She moved again, alone this time. A small apartment, old floors that creaked when she walked, a noisy radiator in winter. But she loved it. It felt like her. In Chicago, things moved differently. Rehearsals were long. The cast was tight. The director pushed them hard, but fairly. Emma was challenged every day, and she loved every moment of it. She didn't hear from Ryan again. After that message he sent months ago, she never responded. She blocked his number eventually. Not out of anger, she just didn't want to open any door that had already closed. But even as life moved forward, something lingered. Late one night, after a particularly emotional rehearsal, she came home to find a letter in her mailbox. It had no return address. Inside was a single sheet of paper, handwritten. I saw your performance. I never got to say this before, but I'm proud of you. You deserve all of it. I'm sorry I wasn't the person you needed. I hope you keep shining. R. Emma folded the letter and put it in a drawer. She didn't cry. She didn't smile either. It was just another thing to let go of. Weeks passed. One afternoon, after a matinee show, Emma stepped outside the theater and ran into someone she never thought she'd see again, Jordan, her old co-star from the film that started it all. He looked, surprised. Emma? She laughed. Jordan, what are you doing here? I moved here a couple months ago, he said. Doing some improv shows. Saw your name on the poster but didn't think it was really you. They grabbed coffee, talked about everything. The film, their lives since, the people they left behind. You look lighter, Jordan said at one point. Emma stirred her drink. I feel lighter. I let go of a lot of weight. They exchanged numbers before parting. She didn't think much of it. But he texted her that night. Then again the next day. Slowly, something started to grow. Not a romance. Not yet. But something warm. He came to more shows. She went to one of his. They laughed again like they used to during rehearsals. One night after dinner, he walked her home. At the door, he hesitated. Emma, I don't want to make this weird, but I still think about that night we shot the scene where your character breaks down. You were incredible. Emma smiled. I remember. I had a lot of real pain to draw from back then. He nodded. I could tell. I'm glad things are better now. She looked at him. They are. But I'm still learning. Still healing. Me too, he said. They didn't kiss. Just hugged. But it felt more intimate than anything she'd felt in years. Weeks turned into months. The play finished its run. The director offered her a spot in the next season's shows. Emma stayed in Chicago. She and Jordan started spending weekends together. Slow, careful. No promises, just presence. One afternoon, as they sat in the park with coffees, Emma turned to him. Do you ever think about what we've been through? She asked. The things we allowed? The people we trusted? Jordan nodded. Yeah, I've made mistakes too. I let someone convince me I wasn't enough. Took me a long time to stop believing it. Emma looked at the trees. I let someone convince me I was too much. He touched her hand. You're just right. It wasn't perfect. They had baggage, fear, memories that sometimes showed up without warning. But they talked, listened, chose each other every day. A year passed. Emma's career grew. She became known in theater circles as someone who brought truth to the stage. She was offered a Broadway audition, but turned it down. She liked where she was. She liked who she was with. One evening, after a quiet dinner, Jordan asked her to come with him to the lake. They sat by the water, the city lights behind them. "I was scared to love again," he said. "But I'm not scared anymore." Emma smiled. "Neither am I." He didn't propose. There was no grand speech. But in that moment, they both knew they had found what they needed, not perfection, just honesty. And that was more than enough.